What's going on, I just want to bring you guys another quick video on what I think is a potential 10 to 100x crypto gem. It's another coin on SUI. It's called Kriya. It's only sitting at around $1.5 million market cap. And in this video, I'm going to be doing an overview of the platform and the token, as well as showing you guys the actual platform itself, telling you reasons why I'm bullish, reasons why I may be iffy about the protocol or some risks that are involved. And as always, guys, of course, none of this is financial advice. Please always do your own research. I'm just some dude in a hammock giving you their 2 cents on the market and what they think of this project. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me flip my screen over. All right, if you jump over their website, it's Kriya.finance. First thing you might notice is that it's dark mode only. I can't figure out how to make this light mode. And then second thing you'll notice is that they claim to be enabling open finance on SUI. And essentially what that means is they're looking to be an all-in-one DeFi platform. So of course they have swaps, limit orders, they have liquidity pool vaults, they have leverage lending, which is something newer to me. They also have credit and perpetuals, which they don't list there, but credit's coming soon. Perpetual trading also coming soon on the platform. Here you can see. All right, before I show you guys too much of the platform itself, I do just want to show you the size of this market opportunity and how crazy this is, in my opinion. It's a fully functioning app sitting at around a $1.7 million market cap. At the time I recorded, only 3 million fully diluted. If you guys check out the chart, you can see it's down a long ways. You'll hear a lot of the community is not too thrilled about it and how the airdrop went. However, it's just how things went. We'll talk about the tokenomics in a second. They have an all-time high of around 30 cents, and they're currently sitting at around 3 cents. But I'm going to talk about why I think that this is an amazing opportunity, why I personally think that this coin has bottomed out and now might be a great time to get in. All right, let's go ahead and get straight into it. One of the first reasons why I'm so bullish is because I just showed you guys the market cap. Now check out the market caps of some of the other top decentralized exchanges. Many of the leading decentralized exchanges on these other chains are in the hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in market cap. And as I already went over, Kriya does way more than just be a decentralized exchange or AMM like some of these other products are here. Of course, these market caps are much larger also because the chains are much larger in general. But in my opinion, SUI is going to be one of the fastest growing chains we see this cycle, or else I wouldn't be making these videos. Where is SUI? Wow, already moved up to the 13th spot. If we check on the 24 hours for today, we can see SUI is actually in the number 2 spot. So I think this ecosystem is going to grow like crazy this cycle, and now's a great time to get involved in some of these protocols that are fundamental to these new L1s that are growing so fast. To get into a couple more reasons why I'm bullish on Kriya, however you say it, we're going to have to jump into the app itself. So in order to get into the actual app, you're going to come to their website that we were just at, click this launch app button. Don't worry, they have a pretty hilarious little dude here for the loading screen. And then when you actually jump into the app itself, you'll see it'll take you to this trading screen. So if you'd like to trade SUI for any of the popular as well as lesser popular coins, you can find a good amount of the tokens on the SUI ecosystem are here. What Kriya actually does for their trade feature is they are an aggregator, unless if you turn the aggregator mode off. So what that means is they are going to find you the best price for this swap amongst all the different decentralized exchanges on the SUI ecosystem and between all the different liquidity pools for the trade that you're trying to make. So that's pretty cool. Here also on the trade tab, you can go between the swap feature. You can also set limit orders to buy or sell certain tokens at certain prices. And for some reason, you can also send people tokens from this app here. I don't think I've ever had anybody do that before or request to do that, but it's good to know that it's an option. As well as if you click around on here, something else that I appreciate from Kriya is that if you do want to have a little more freedom with the liquidity pools, you don't want to give your money to someone else to control the liquidity pools and where your money is sitting in them, you can actually jump in here yourself. And they have not just liquidity pools where you can manage your liquidity, but they also have incentivized liquidity pools. So if you want to, in this deep SUI, for example, pool, you can actually come in here, pick your ranges for the liquidity that you want. You can also just put in single-sided tokens if you'd like to. So you could pick between one of the 2 tokens in this liquidity pool if you'd like to. So if you're a little bit more knowledgeable as to how liquidity pools work, this is definitely a good option for you, as they do have these rewards in whatever they have over here on the side. You're going to be earning on top of what you're already earning in these in these pools, which are already getting some pretty insane yields. And then in this liquidity pool specifically, you could be earning additional SUI as well as DEEP and Kriya. So not bad. Here's the incentivized pools if you want to sort by them. But I think what'll interest more of the people here, what interests myself a little bit more personally, I'm a little bit more of a set it and forget it kind of guy. I like to just take the money and let someone that's way smarter than me, or let a protocol that is smarter than me and figured out some more that I have yet to figure out, take control of my money and earn some decent yields on it. So if you're interested in that, you can actually invest in some of the Kriya strategies that they have here and still earn some decent APYs, especially if you click around to some of these LP rebalancing. You can see some of these are earning an average of around 1,000% APY at the time of recording. I guess something to note or just to point out here is whenever you see these APYs, you always have to be a little bit cautious and just realize that a lot of the times these are fluctuating, or these are going to change day in, day out, depending on how much volume is going through these liquidity pools and a lot of other factors for these different strategies. So this APY is based on the last 7 days, what these different pools or strategies have been getting, and then that is extrapolated out over the next 52 weeks. I guess in this case, this is what you would be getting in theory if you got that same yield for an entire year straight. So that's where these APYs come from. Still though, it's pretty nice to know that you can just set and forget in some of these pools and still earn some decent APY, as well as there are a couple of reward pools as well, which isn't so bad. So if you want to manage your liquidity a little bit more, they have these liquidity pools. You can feel free, knock yourself out. But if you're a little bit more like myself and you just want to set and forget and earn some decent APY, you can jump on over here to their strategies where they have the leverage lending as well as the auto LP rebalancing pools, which is much more user friendly. Here you can still see you can earn some pretty crazy yields on the deep SUI pools, for example. And I'm sure they'll keep expanding upon this. Also, if you click in here, you can see a little bit more about the strategies themselves, how they work, how they're able to get you some of these insane yields. And then they also allow for single-sided or both-sided liquidity pools. So if you only have one token in your wallet, you can deposit just that single-sided token. If you have both tokens, you can deposit that as well. Really quickly, I'm going to jump in here. If you guys have gotten any value so far, please like, drop a comment, and subscribe. It really goes a long way into pushing this video into the YouTube algorithm. Let's go ahead and get back to the video. Something that'd be worth doing before you put any money into any of these liquidity pools would just be clicking through these different drop-down menus, these different carrots, to see how they're actually calculating this APY, how they're actually able to get you these types of yields. They do very similar things where they manage your liquidity within a very narrow range, and then they also have compounding interest, or they're going to auto compound your yields for you, and different strategies like that to try and get you these pretty crazy APYs that you see listed here. And actually, something that I'm just noticing right now is that they say that there's a 0% performance fee as well as a 0% withdrawal fee, at least for this LP rebalancing vault anyways. So that's kind of crazy right now. I may have to move some liquidity over here. I'm not really sure how long this will last or if that's an API bug, but most of these will tend to have like a 0.3% withdrawal fee or a 1% withdrawal fee. So I'm going to send some messages in the Discord and actually ask around about that. Speaking of Discord and reasons why I'm bullish is because the actual dev team is pretty active on here. You can see DeFi Yogi is one of the leading devs, and he'll actually respond to you if you jump in here in the Discord and ask some questions, as well as check out their X as well. You can see DeFi Yogi, the homie, he's also pretty active on here. I mean, pretty active, relatively speaking, for a dev. He still clicks around, still interacts with some things, just not crazy active. That's not really his job. So it's good for me to see some active devs working, although it's not too many of them that I can find, if I'm being honest. I would like to see a little more activity out of the team, but I do appreciate the fact that they're still around, still answering on Discord if there's any questions that I have. It's also nice to see that the official account is relatively active as well. You can see it, they just posted here yesterday, and every once in a while, you'll get some updates out of them. So that's nice to see. Quickly, just to give you guys a little more insight as well to what Kriya is trying to do in the long term, they're trying to be an all-in-one platform. So if you want to check out their thinking when they were creating certain products, definitely check this chart out, as well as this chart here. You can see how they plan on integrating so many different things into their ecosystem, where the money is coming from. I'm not going to get too into this right now. Just wanted to show you guys. Last few things to make note of, then I'll get into reasons why I may be a little bit iffy about the platform. Just want to point out, like I said before, they have the swap, they have the vaults. They also have a couple of extra little things for some degens. It's a SUI sniffers, what they're calling it. It essentially helps you find some tokens that may do well in the future. They also have a no-code token launch on SUI, which is nice. They help you to do airdrops to your different communities. They also have perpetuals coming out soon. They have what's listed here as OTC. When you click in, you can see it's really pertaining a lot to institutional adoption, which whatever that means to you, bullish or bearish, it's just good to know that there are bigger deals getting done and they want to help facilitate some of those deals, try and make some money off of that. And last two things that are nice for me to see, but I don't see mentioned in their Git book. The first one is that they also have a liquid staking token. I'm not going to get into what that is, but it essentially helps to stabilize the network in times of stress. And last thing that I don't even see mentioned here in their Git book is that they have the credit coming out soon. Before I jump into the tokenomics, I do just want to take a second and touch on some of the risks that I see with the Kriya platform, as well as some things that are a little bit iffy about it for me. After going through a lot of their documents, I saw that they were one of the first platforms to actually integrate DeepBook and that they've been using them for a long time. So while it's really bullish to me in terms of it means that they're very well connected and you see the Kriya team has partnered with the SUI wallet, different things like that, it also kind of makes me wonder what's going on with their marketing. Do they not have marketing funds? Are they waiting until more of their products are out to really go hard on marketing? Or what's their plan here? Because they aren't necessarily the biggest or most talked about protocol on SUI for how established they are or how long they've been plugged into DeepBook and the rest of the ecosystem. Also on that note, it was bullish for me to see that some of the devs were responding to me in chat, but it was also not so ideal to see that it was the same person a lot of times. The main guy, DeFi Yogi, I see him all over the place. He seems like a really nice guy, but I feel like the team might need to grow a little bit more in order to achieve some of the things that they have put in place, or at least marketing-wise, just get more people in the team, different things like that. It just seems like a really small team, which can be efficient, but also in terms of growth, might be holding the team back. I'm not sure, just whatever that means to you. I just haven't seen too many different people responding in the different Discords and Twitter chats and things like that. And then last but certainly not least, there are so many things that can go wrong whenever you're giving your money, liquidity, tokens, whatever, to anybody, let alone a relatively new protocol on a relatively new chain that's relatively unproven. So there's a lot of new tech, a lot of things going on with these different protocols, and a lot of it is unproven in terms of being stress tested through a bear and a bull market. So we'll see as things get really crazy later during the bull run or whenever we switch into the bear market officially, we'll see that liquidity pools and a lot of these different protocols can sometimes collapse or implode and leaving you with absolutely no money left and wondering where did all your money and high APY go. So Kriya isn't the first people to come out with these different types of strategies. They are hopefully though building on some of the past strategies, and they also have a couple of other ways of stabilizing their protocol so that in times of extreme stress that the protocol won't implode like some of the other ones do. But guys, whenever you're putting money into these things, there is impermanent loss that can happen. There's the price of the tokens themselves that can go down that can happen. There are smart contract hacks that can happen. There are so many different risks involved whenever you're giving your money to anybody, especially these newer smart contract platforms. So please, like always, never invest more than you're willing to risk or put in more money than you're willing to risk. Because, of course, this high APY seems amazing, but sometimes it can also be a little bit too good to be true. So although they've been around for a while and I feel pretty confident in them, I'm putting my money here myself. So I'm also buying the token myself. That doesn't mean I'm going to put all of my money here because you never know what can happen at the end of the day, even with the team having the best intentions. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the tokenomics. I'm going to wrap up this video. All right, we're going to bring us home here, wrap up talking about the KDX tokenomics. Normally, tokenomics is something that I would start off a video with, especially for a protocol. However, in this case, I waited to the end of the video because I'm not 100% sure what it means to me in terms of being bullish or bearish on the token. I'm going to let you guys read through all of this if you want. I already read through it. I'm not going to read this out to you right now. I'm just going to pull out some of the highlights highlights here about the token. And some of the important things that I think are what they have here. They say, like all things in life, KDX Tokenomics also follows the 80-20 rule. They say about 80% of the KDX tokens going towards the community and about 20% for the team and early backers. Here you can see about 50% of the initial airdrop went towards some of their Chakra Season 1, 2, and 3 participants. I actually was one of those for the Season 3 participants, as well as the Perps testnet participants, Discord OG role holders, Zeely participants, and a couple other KOLs in the community. So about half of the total tokens went adios out into the mainnet via the initial airdrop. So that is pretty interesting, whatever that means to you. They have about 25% reserved for the growth fund. This is for marketing, liquidity, insurance, partnerships, all that good stuff. And then they have about 5% set aside for the liquidity pools at the time of the token generation event. Here you can also see that there's about 20% left over for the team. I guess here you can see it. And then here is the breakdown on their emissions and vesting schedule. That's really rough. So I'm probably going to post down below or in the description the actual docs for this. Here they talk about the airdrop mechanism. And I guess it's important to point out that of this 50% of the KDX supply that went towards the initial airdrop, not all of it is actually getting unlocked or was unlocked from the very beginning. You actually had to stake for a certain amount of time in order to get access to 100% of the tokens. And if you didn't stake your tokens for that full amount of time, then actually a part of the KDX airdrop got burnt, and then a part of it went back to the stakers. So here you guys can see a little bit more of the airdrop distribution. Again, I'm not going to read all of it out to you guys. Here they talk about that early claim penalty, 50% of it went towards stakers. And then now let's go ahead and get into more utilities for the staked KDX token. Here you can see they highlight some of the major benefits to staking the token is that you get to vote on major protocol upgrades. You also get to earn a share of the protocol revenue. I'm going to come back to this. You earn some of the KDX emissions from day one. You earn boosted yields on LP pools, and then you earn fee rebates on swaps and other upcoming features. So there are some benefits to staking the token. And I guess just to start wrapping up the video, the reason why I saved this for the end is because it's a little bit confusing to me how much of the protocol revenue is going towards KDX buybacks and things like that. If you guys can find the documents saying where they outline this, I couldn't really find it myself. I'm going to try asking their Discord. And if I can find out any more information, I'll do an updated version of this video. But for now, I couldn't figure out exactly how much protocol revenue was going back to the KDX token and back to the stakers. And for that reason, it kind of makes me uncertain as to the future for KDX or how high the price could go in the long run. As well as I'm not really sure exactly about these fee rebates and how much fee rebates you get on different swaps depending on how much you're staking. They do have very clearly laid out some of these other points though, like the boosted yields on liquidity pools and voting on things for KDX are laid out pretty well. But in terms of some of the other things, the protocol revenue, I think that's a big one for me personally. I would like to know where some of the protocol revenue is going, how much of it is going back towards the community that is staking KDX, etc. All right, to rapid fire, wrap things up, just to go over the video, some of the reasons why I'm extremely bullish on Kriya, however you say it, and KDX is they have an extremely low market cap right now on a chain that I'm very bullish on and is growing very quickly. They have a very simple and clean user interface. They're generating real revenue by also offering users high yield APY that they don't have to do too much to achieve. The team also seems pretty cool as far as I can tell. They seem pretty down to earth. They're also well connected and really thinking about the community first. You can tell with the airdrops, most of it was actually going to the community. And they still have a long way to go. The perps aren't still out yet on mainnet. The Kriya credit is not out yet. They have some OTC deals apparently coming and a lot of other things in the works. Some things that I said were maybe kind of making me iffy about the protocol or just to watch out for is that really to me, they have a really small marketing team. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or what the story is there. I also have some questions about the revenue. Where's that going? How does that relate to KDX in terms of the money that they're generating from fees? And then of course, like any of these platforms that you're giving your money to in these smart contracts, there are so many risks involved. There's the risk of permanent and impermanent loss. There's the risk of the platform imploding itself. There are smart contract risks. There are exploits that happen. There are so many different things that could go wrong. some of which are in the team's control, some of which are not in the team's control, and some of which you're just going to have to manage the risk of on your own. So of course, guys, I'm here to help figure out what the risks are, but I can't do it on my own. So please let me know your guys' thoughts on Kriya, the protocol, as well as KDX in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you guys appreciated this type of content. And as always, guys, this has been Joe from New Money Crypto. We all know there's smart money, dumb money, old money. Years from now, they're going to be calling you new money. Until then, I'm going to catch you guys on a video soon. Much love. Peace.